Lesson 1-10, last lesson for this chapter, gathering and recording data. This is from statistics. Our objective is to gather and record data in a frequency table or a bar graph. Let's consider this example in entertainment. What do you think? Opinion polls often ask the question. The results of an opinion poll are reported using statistics. Statistics involves collecting, analyzing, and presenting data. So statistics is another branch in math that specializes in collecting, analyzing, and presenting data. A family center in Orlando, Florida, conducts one of the world's largest ongoing public opinion polls. People visiting the center can gather in a 172-seat theater to participate in polls in everything from vegetables to rock videos. You know, that's the Epcot Center in Florida. The frequency table below shows the results of one poll on movie tastes. Okay, so one of the questions asked in that particular poll, what type of movie do you like most? Comedy, men 39, women 47. Action adventure, 40 for men, 18 for women, and so on and so forth, all the way to the bottom. No response for men, 8. No response for women, 8. And the bottom, it explains the frequency table. The poll was conducted with 5,174 adults at the center. Results are shown as if groups of 100 men and women were surveyed. So basically, what it's saying, 39 out of 100 men preferred comedy, 47 out of 100 women preferred comedy as well, and so on and so forth. In this case, in the no response portion, 8 out of 100 men did not have a response. Same with women. That's what the bottom is explaining. Okay, so how do we use this? Let's learn some things about this. Obviously, it would be very difficult to ask every man and woman in the United States which type of movie they prefer. Family Center surveys smaller groups called samples. Sample group is assumed to be representative of the entire population. It simply means that it should represent the population, no biases. Okay. However, since a group of people could not be chosen randomly, but only from a group at the family center, the results may not be representative, and that's the only difference between that particular result. Okay, it might not be random because of a particular group in that center. So the reason why it may not be random is that probably the entire group came from one place where they were bussed into Orlando, Florida, and then they had a particular preference. So that's the only problem with that area. But otherwise, when you talk about a sample, it should represent the entire population. It should not only lean towards one particular idea or one particular liking. Okay? So let's go back to, let's look at example 1 and let's refer to the table at the beginning of the lesson. Which type of movie did most men in the group prefer? Very simple answer. The greatest number of men is 40 chose comedy and action. Comedy was close with 39 men choosing it. Overall, which type of movie is the most popular? Again, by just looking at the frequency table. Okay. We need find the sum of the numbers of men and women who prefer each type. Simply add men plus women will give you the total number. Okay, and that would be, okay, if you do that, this is what you get. Okay, comedy 86, action adventure 58, drama 26, horror 4, other 10, and no response 16. So looking at this particular table right here, comedy is the most popular type of movie overall. Okay, and the frequency table really tells you a lot about gives you a lot of information about the preference of people. In example number 2, recently a company conducted a poll on the women that Americans admire most. The results are shown in the frequency table at the right. Make a bar graph to display the data. These are the results. Queen Elizabeth II, 28 votes. Jackie O, 27. Eisenhower, 22. Helen Keller, 18. Margaret Chase Smith, 18. Claire Booth. Mother Teresa, 16. Margaret Thatcher, 16. Okay, this was from the Gallup organization, which creates a lot of polls, including our election polls. Okay, to be able to answer that question, we want to make a bar graph to be able to respond to that. Each of the categories in the bar graph has a bar to represent it. The vertical scale shows the number of votes. So this will go to our vertical scale in our bar graph. And this is how our bar graph should look like. Okay. Why 30? Because see, the highest one was Queen Elizabeth at 28. And that is the reason why we have 30 as the highest number right there. And we simply create a bar graph on each of these. Queen Elizabeth, Jackie Onassis, Eisenhower, Keller Smith, and so on and so forth, all the way down to Thatcher. Okay, a colorful bar graph would be more attractive and more easy to read. It's going to be easier to read because now you can distinguish between the heights of each of the bar, and just by looking at the bar graph, you know right away that Queen Elizabeth is the woman, okay, most Americans admire. Okay, and that's how you use your bar graph. And finally, let's look at the last example. Well, let's not look at the last example because it will use a calculator. We don't need to do that. On Google Forms, type a summary of what you've learned by responding to the objective of the lesson. Type a question that you might want to ask in class about this lesson. Okay, short lesson, and we are done. Thank you.